At 3:47 a.m., a Ukrainian drone approached a Russian distillation column. This was the culmination of a 6-hour operation involving multiple drone groups. The mission began at 9:00 p.m. the previous night. A fleet of 10 Boba motherships launched from various concealed locations. Each mothership carried 4 FPV-1 drones. The drones were networked to operate as a coordinated swarm. For the initial strike, 4 of these motherships were assigned to the Lukoil refinery. Their mission required a 600-mile flight over the Volga River at an altitude of 50 feet above the water. At this low altitude, any operational error would result in the loss of the aircraft. For 6 hours, the drones remained undetected. At 3:30 a.m., their approach was detected by Russian air defense. A Pantsir-S1 operator identified 4 low-signature contacts on his radar screen. He reported 4 low-altitude targets. 2 Pantsir systems tasked with defending the facility began to engage. Their heavy turrets turned to acquire the targets. At 3:40 a.m., the Russian operators achieved a clean lock on all 4 drones. However, the Ukrainian drone's AI used its thermal imaging to identify a flock of geese crossing the flight path. The AI initiated a deception tactic. It ordered a split formation. 3 of the Boba drones began flying erratically, changing their profiles to mimic the movement of birds. Simultaneously, the 4th Boba directed its transmitter at the flock of geese. This action amplified the radar return from the birds, creating a large false signature on the Russian radar screens. The signature resembled a wave of incoming cruise missiles. The Russian operator was faced with a choice: 3 small radar blips or 1 large high-threat signature. Doctrine dictated engaging the largest perceived threat first. Missiles were launched at the false target. The missiles detonated among the flock of geese. For 12 seconds, the Russian air defense crews were focused on the false engagement. Their systems were locked onto a non-existent threat with their turrets aimed at empty airspace. During this window created by the successful deception, all 4 Boba motherships advanced to close the final distance to the target. At 3:45 a.m., the motherships released their payloads. 16 FPV drones descended towards the refinery. The Pantsir crews re-engaged and began firing. The airspace became saturated with cannon fire. The defensive fire was effective, destroying 12 of the 16 FPV drones in mid-air. Debris from the destroyed drones fell onto nearby crude oil tanks, starting secondary fires. The Russian defenses neutralized the majority of the incoming swarm, but not all of them. The lead Pantsir system had expended its primary missiles on the false target and was now engaging with its cannons. This created a final opening for the surviving drones. At 3:47 a.m., the 4 remaining FPVs from Boba number 4 had a clear path to the target. Boba number 4, its duty as a carrier complete, did not return to base like the other 3 motherships. Instead, it pitched its nose down and began a terminal dive, following its own drones for a synchronized 5-vehicle strike. 4 FPVs and their motherships struck the facility. There were 4 direct hits on the distillation column and a 5th on the main control room. The billion-dollar facility sustained critical damage. The attack on the Lukoil refinery served as a strategic diversion. While Russian command was focused on this incident, the other 6 Boba motherships were proceeding toward their own designated targets across Russia. At 4:15 a.m., 3 of the remaining Bobas approached the Sterlitamak plant hundreds of miles to the south. This facility is Russia's primary producer of military-grade kerosene. From 15 miles out, 2 of the motherships released their payload of 8 FPV drones. The 3rd mothership, Boba number 8, held its position and climbed to a higher altitude. The plant's defenders were on high alert. At 4:25 a.m., a Krasukha 4 electronic warfare system was activated, emitting a powerful GPS jamming signal. The 8 FPV drones immediately lost their satellite navigation. A lone Pantsir system on site opened fire, destroying 3 of the disoriented drones. The attack appeared to be failing. At 4:30 a.m., while the FPVs were being jammed, Boba number 8 began a high-speed dive not toward the plant, but directly at the Pantsir system on the ground. To the Pantsir's radar, this registered as a large, fast-moving, high-priority threat. The Pantsir operator, faced with a direct threat to his own position, swiveled his turret and fired 2 missiles at the incoming Boba No. 8. At the same moment, the second mothership, Boba No. 9, also began a dive, presenting itself as another immediate target. The Pantsir, facing 2 direct threats, fired its last 2 ready-to-launch missiles, one at each Boba. At 4:36 a.m. Boba No. 8 and Boba No. 9 were destroyed. This was a planned sacrifice of the 2 motherships. Their destruction bought a 12-second window of time. For those 12 seconds, the Pantsir system was fully occupied with tracking, firing, and confirming its 2 kills. Its turret was elevated and its operator was focused on the mid-air engagements. During this brief period of vulnerability, the remaining FPV drones made their final run. Using the Krasuka's own jamming signal as a homing beacon, they navigated the last half-mile using inertial guidance. The Russian EW and air defense crews were unaware of the 5 small drones that bypassed their defenses during the engagement. A minute later, the attack was completed. 2 FPVs struck the main reactor housing. A third destroyed the primary cooling pumps. The final 2 FPVs, damaged by the proximity detonation of the Pantsir's missiles, went off course and crashed without impact. The damage was significant. 2 motherships and all 8 FPVs in this wave were lost. In exchange, a strategic asset was disabled, impacting the fuel supply for Russia's Southern Air Command. This prompted a redeployment of Russian air defense assets. Advanced short-range air defense systems, including the Tor M2, were pulled back from front lines to protect critical infrastructure. One of these Tor M2 systems, designated SA-15 Gauntlet, was positioned to defend against the final Ukrainian attack wave. At 5:00 a.m., 2 of the last 3 Boba motherships prepared for their attack run. Their target was the main electrical substation in Volgograd. From 10 miles out, they released their combined payload of 8 FPV drones. At 5:10 a.m., the Tor M2 operator located near the substation acquired the targets. He reported 8 slow-moving, low-altitude targets. 2 9M331 missiles were launched in rapid succession. The first missile destroyed 2 FPVs. The second destroyed a third. The Ukrainian drone swarm was being effectively dismantled. However, the Ukrainian AI was programmed to counter the Tor M2's specific operational characteristics. It recognized that the system's strength, its powerful single-engagement radar, was also a potential vulnerability. 2 of the 5 surviving FPV drones broke formation and climbed, broadcasting a powerful electronic signal directly at the Tor's radar dish. The Tor's automated system, designed to prioritize the most immediate threats, was deceived by this maneuver. It directed its radar upward to focus on the 2 decoy drones, temporarily losing track of the targets below. The system then fired 2 more missiles, destroying the 2 FPV decoys. During the time it took to engage the decoys, the remaining 3 FPVs were no longer tracked by the blinded radar. They proceeded unopposed toward the target. The Tor operator attempted to reacquire the low-altitude targets, but the system's 4-second radar rotation time was too long. At 5:15 a.m., the last 3 FPVs struck the substation. 1 hit the central switching gear, while the other 2 severed the main high-voltage transmission lines. The strike caused a total blackout for 16,000 homes and the primary military rail hub for the southern front. The 2 motherships that launched the attack had already aggressed the area. At 5:30 a.m., the final Boba mothership on a northern route approached the city of Rilsk in the Kursk Oblast. Its target was the main railway switching station controlling military traffic between Kursk and occupied Luhansk. Destroying this target would sever a key strategic supply line. From 12 miles out, the last Boba released its final 4 FPV assassins. A Tor M2 system guarding the rail lines acquired the 4 targets. 2 missiles were launched, destroying 2 of the FPVs. The Tor's radar then began its 4-second rotation to reacquire the remaining 2 targets. As the radar was rotating, one of the two surviving FPVs broadcast an encrypted signal on the Tor's internal diagnostic frequency. The signal contained a fake error code Cascade Failure Missile Launcher 3B, which appeared on the commander's console. A launcher failure is a critical emergency. The Russian crew spent 3 seconds looking at their diagnostic panels to verify the error, diverting their attention from the radar display. By the time they determined the error was false, the engagement window had closed. The Tor's radar completed its rotation, but the sky was empty. At 5:38 a.m., the two remaining FPVs reached their targets. One struck the main switching tower, disabling the rail control systems. The second FPV hit a nearby ammunition train waiting to depart for the front. The secondary explosion was substantial and caused significant disruption. The final objective was complete. Analysis of the operation indicates the 3:47 a.m. strike on the distillation column was the decisive moment. Overnight, repairs were underway at the facility, which meant some safety protocols were bypassed and security was reduced. That single precise strike initiated a cascade of failures throughout the Russian war economy. The total impact of the multi-pronged attack was extensive. It affected Moscow's gasoline supply, vaporized a primary source of military kerosene in the south, blacked out a critical logistics hub, and severed a main armored supply line. The cost to Ukraine was 3 motherships and 36 FPVs, an investment of less than $1 million. This inflicted an estimated $5 billion in direct damages and created significant strategic challenges for Russia. The secondary effect was the forced redeployment of 8 advanced Pantsir and Tor air defense systems from the front lines to defend infrastructure. Each system pulled back from the front created a new vulnerability that could be exploited by other assets such as HIMARS rockets and Storm Shadow missiles. This operation demonstrates that a technologically inferior force can overcome a sophisticated defense system through intelligent, layered, and asymmetric tactics.